Grandpa? Xiao Cui is an 18-year-old high school student from Harbin, China, but you probably won't believe that, all due to his mysterious skin condition. According to China's People's Daily, Xiao Cui first noticed the symptoms when he was in middle school, and his face has been getting saggier ever since, making him look a lifetime older than he really is. Doctors in China still have yet to figure out Xiao Cui's condition, let alone finding a way to cure him. The 18-year-old student said he has no option but to accept his condition and just try to look on the bright side of life. Luckily, Xiao Cui's condition does not cause negative effects on his health. Xiao Cui isn't the only person who's suffering from his condition. Hu Juan, a 28-year-old woman who looks much older, was diagnosed with an extremely rare connective tissue disorder known as cutis laxa. It's a group of rare connective tissue disorders in which the skin becomes inelastic and hangs loosely in folds. Another person, 30-year-old Ren Taiping, also suffered this condition, with his sagging skin making him look at least 5 decades older. Xiao Cui said people sometimes poke fun at his looks, and he admits he does get upset, but he still tries to stay positive, especially with the support from his friends and family and his teacher. Now, Xiao Cui is currently studying hard to pass his exams and hopes to get accepted at Beijing University or Tsinghua University, two of the most prestigious learning institutions in China. Best of luck, buddy. Have you seen any of these?
No ears? No problem. Chinese researchers have successfully grown ears for 5 children with microtia, using a procedure that used the kids' own cells. Microtia is a congenital deformity of the ear, the severity of which ranges from structural abnormalities to a complete absence of the external ear. The typical treatment for microtia is reconstructive surgery, often through rib cartilage ear reconstruction or silicone prosthetic ears. In China, scientists grew ears via a biodegradable scaffold that replicates the patient's normal ear. Cells from the microtia ear were seeded into the scaffold and cultured for 3 months. The new ears were then implanted to reconstruct ears in 5 patients and monitored for up to 2.5 years. While the idea itself is not novel, what's groundbreaking is that the scientists were able to carry out the procedure successfully in a series of patients and had long-term results to boot. Gene therapy grows new skin for dying boy. A young patient who lost most of his skin to a genetic disease now has a new chance at life, thanks to a breakthrough therapy that gave him replacement skin. The 7-year-old boy was born with junctional epidermal lysis bullosa, a condition in which a gene defect causes the skin to become fragile, often tearing and forming blisters. By June 2015, the boy had gotten 2 bacterial infections that destroyed 2/3 of his skin. He was treated with antibiotics, bandages, and even a skin graft from his father, but nothing worked. Doctors decided to use gene therapy on a patch of non-blistered skin and used a virus to carry a corrected version of the defective gene into the skin cells. The engineered cells were grown into sheets of skin and grafted onto the child's body to replace his missing skin. The grafts took and grew, and the patient was discharged by February 2016. His epidermis is currently stable and doesn't blister or itch. New study says it's possible to sweat blood. Are you one of those people that's always sweating? Have you ever sweat blood, though? A 21-year-old Italian woman was found to have been bleeding intermittently from her face and palms for 3 years. She was eventually diagnosed with blood sweating or hematohidrosis. This condition causes blood to seep out of unbroken skin like normal perspiration. It's most common on the face, ears, nose, and eyes, and is often associated with fear and emotional stress. The woman was treated with a beta blocker normally used to regulate blood pressure and heart rate. The medicine did not stop the bleeding, but she did experience a marked reduction in symptoms. Medical experts still don't know what causes the condition.
Girl born with heart outside her chest. This 8-year-old girl suffers from a rare congenital condition and is currently stateside seeking treatment. Versavia Borin, born in Russia, suffers from thoracoabdominal syndrome. The condition affects 5 in 1 million people. Her heart is covered by a thin layer of skin, and she's missing part of her chest bone, a diaphragm, and ab muscles. Borin has to be careful everywhere she goes, for obvious reasons. Her mom launched a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for her medical bills in 2015, which raised over 70 grand. Unfortunately, after traveling to Florida for an operation, doctors told the young girl her blood pressure was too high to operate. So while Boren works on getting her blood pressure down, she's still just busy being an overactive 8-year-old.
Boy's heart stops after eating a hot dog. A boy who ate a heart-stopping hot dog is the subject of a strikingly odd new medical study. A report in the medical journal Pediatric describes how a 9-year-old boy's heart stopped beating after he began eating a hot dog in Istanbul, Turkey. He was later resuscitated. Choking can lead to cardiac arrest in children, but in this case, medical staff found the hot dog stimulated the boy's vagus nerve, which in turn triggered an abnormal rhythm that caused his heart to stop. Upon further investigation and an electrocardiogram, he was found to have a rare life-threatening heart rhythm condition known as Brugada syndrome. The child was later implanted with a defibrillator to help regulate the abnormal heart rhythms via electrical impulses. The condition is reportedly inherited and more common among those of Southeast Asian descent.
Woman in India gives birth to child with rare deformities. Alien or God? This is what many see when they get a glimpse of the baby boy who was born in Katahar, India earlier this week. Doctors treating the newborn have diagnosed him with harlequin ichthyosis, a rare genetic disorder that creates thick skin and deformities. Medical experts say the child's features could also be a case of a defect called anencephaly, which results in babies born without critical parts of the brain and skull. The child's mother, 35-year-old Khalida Begum, went into labor on March 20th. After giving birth to her 4th child, Begum was stunned to meet whom she called the alien-looking boy, and told the midwife assisting with the birth to take him out of her sight. Once her initial shock wore off, though, Begum's motherly instincts returned and she willingly breastfed the child hours later. Following the boy's birth, word spread through local villages, and herds of devout Hindus showed up to worship the child, whom they believe may be a reincarnation of one of their gods, Lord Hanuman. So which is it? An alien, a Hindu god, or perhaps just a child who clearly has a difficult life ahead of him? Let us know what you think in the comments.